各位高等教育界的朋友们，大家好！今天可以代表马来西亚韩江传媒大学学院在这里为大家发表拙见，我为此深感荣幸。首先，感谢海口经济学院的邀请，让我有机会与各位专家学者齐聚，共襄盛举。接着，我将和我的伙伴李嘉玲博士为大家分享一个专题，题目为马来西亚首个自由贸易区冰岛，请允许我们以英语为大家呈现。During the British colonial period, Penang served as an entrepôt center for commodity exports from northern Malaya and was also an immigration port for the Chinese and Indian workers designated for mines and rubber plantations. From the country's independence up till the end of 1960s, Penang remained nominally as a free port. But in practice, this privilege has been slowly withdrawn. The local economy stagnated, and by 1970, Malaysia faced the mounting challenge of finding jobs for its growing population, where the country's unemployment rate hovered around 7.3% and a more critical 14.5% in Penang. Amid the challenges and coupled with the losses of Penang's free port status, the Penang state government, headed by then the Chief Minister Tun Dr. Lim Chong Il, took a major step in transforming the landscape of Penang's economic development. This charted the beginning of the state's journey to industrializations with the proposals to develop the free trade zones aimed at attracting foreign direct investments in export-oriented industries, which could generate jobs for the high number of unemployed Malaysians. August 1972 saw the opening of Malaysia's first free trade zones, now known as the Free Industrial Zones in Penang, and pioneer tax incentives were offered to attract foreign investors. The Penang Free Industrial Zones proved successful in attracting multinational firms, and its creation played a vital role in reversing Penang's economic crisis. Intel, AMD, Hewlett-Packard, Crayon, National Semiconductor, Hitachi, Osram, and Bosch, collectively known as the Eight Samurai, were the first multinational companies to set up factories within the zone. Consequently, the manufacturing sector became one of the Penang's largest economic sectors, while the zone itself has been described by the international press as the Silicon Valley of the East. The creations of the free trade zones ushered in a new age of industrializations and rapid development for Penang. To tell you more about Penang's practical function as a free industrial zones, here's Dr. Jocelyn.
Thank you, Dr. Bear. We will be exploring three angles here: contribution to trade in goods, foreign direct investments, and diversifying E&E product portfolios. Firstly, when it comes to Penang's contribution to trade in goods, the state has heavily contributed to the country's exports. Even though Penang is a small state in Malaysia, the setting up of the FTZs has enabled such success. In 2020, amidst the pandemic, Penang contributed 31.8% of Malaysia's total export. This amounts to a whopping 312,359 million ringgit. The state's resiliency to the economic slowdown is driven by the economic activities of the FTZ. Penang's closest trade partners in 2020 were China, the United States of America, Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, Thailand, South Korea, Germany, and the Netherlands. Penang Semiconductor and Electrical and Electronics Strait also provides a healthy boost to the Malaysian economy. Moving on, we will discuss the impact of Penang as a FDI recipient and the economic growth of the state. In 2020, Penang recorded 10.55 billion ringgit in FDI. This accounts for 19% of the country's total FDI. Major sectors like electronics and electrical, machinery and equipment, scientific and measuring equipment, including medical devices industries, are the biggest recipients of the FDI. The United States of America, Europe, and Japan have been the top contributors of Penang's FDI for the past 10 years. Penang's electrical and electronics sector has been the key economic driver for the state. But we are moving up the value chain and diversifying from consumer electronic products to products of industrial application. Everyday consumer electronic products like mobile phones, personal computers, television, and other electronic gadgets benefit the citizens of Malaysia who are the end users. The expansion to industrial application products reflects the major trend shifts in technology that strengthens the highly cyclical E&E industry. Penang also houses 1/3 of the medical devices companies in Malaysia. Another additional point is that Penang is part of a few treaties that make operating in Penang safe and competitive. Whilst Penang can be considered a mature FIZ with almost 49 years under its belt, the island of Hainan has also proposed a master plan that is similar to Penang's FIZ, particularly in terms of import duties and tax. The current understanding on Hainan Island is that it is still on the nascent stage of development and will be on par with mature FTZs by 2035. As shown in the table, both Penang and Hainan offer 0% import duties, whilst with corporate taxes, there is a difference between Hainan and Penang, where the former offers a lower tax rate offering exemptions for foreign sourced income, which could be a learning point for Penang. With the FIZ playing a big role in contributing to trade in goods and attracting FDIs for Penang, Penang has witnessed progressive growth of state's industrialization. This welcome growth and progression has led to the development of many more industrial areas in the state. The expansion of industrial areas inevitably leads to the creation of job opportunities. In 2019, the FDIs received helped create an estimated 18,886 new job opportunities, and in 2020, 9,137 jobs were created. Jobs that are created are gradually shifting from low-skilled jobs to high-skilled occupations, raising the standards of talents in the workforce. Dr. Bayan will discuss the future developments of Penang's FIZ. Dr. Bayan?
Penang is known for its thriving electrical and electronic industry and also has a burgeoning medical device industry. The state is slowly gaining a reputation as a medical device manufacturing hub among world-class manufacturers. Penang is making a name for itself in non-glove medical device manufacturing, or more specifically, medical technology. Devices manufactured in Penang tend to be on the higher end of the value scale, such as cardiovascular products or orthopedic implants and tools. Today, Penang is changing fast in becoming an IoT-enabled smart city, modeled on the tenets of green living, strong ESG principles, and sustainable economic momentum. Soon, it could be one of the Southeast Asia's hottest investment destinations. Central to that transformations in Penang South Islands, PSI, the three-island development will help the state to achieve its Penang 2030 vision. By combining advanced technologies for next-generation industries with eco-friendly master plans, PSI will raise the game for Penang as a leading investment destination for global corporations. The PSI's Green Plan will accelerate the greenifications of Penang's economy, governance and infrastructure. It will enable Penang to reach its full potential as a high-income, low-carbon state that prioritizes the well-being of its people and the environment while providing a platform for innovative and sustainably minded business to thrive. For example, Pramit Corporation is expanding its footprint to Penang and is known as the factory in the forest. The factory has achieved a measured 45% savings compared to the old factory. The cardinal sustainable design principle were energy efficiency, water efficiency, daylighting, and biophilia, the fundamental human needs for connections to nature. The site is conceived as a forest that penetrates, surrounds, and steps over the buildings, creating maximum contact with nature, green, breeze, Sand, sound, and touch. It has set a good example of industrial architectures in the tropics worthy of following. As innovative companies gravitate to Penang, PSI will feel growth in the state's well-established tech manufacturing sector. Dubbed the Silicon Valley of the East, Penang already produces 8% of global back-end semiconductor output, with end users linked to 5G, autonomous vehicles, and the IoT. Chip made in Malaysia powers some of today's most innovative products, making Penang a vital link in electronic supply chains. Despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, US front-end semiconductor equipment giant Lam Research announced a USD 225 million investment to build the group's largest manufacturing facility in Batu Kawan Industrial Park. The company will join dozens of tech heavyweights including Intel, which has one of the largest silicon design centers in Penang, Micron Technology, which built a center of excellence for solid-state drives in Penang, and National Instruments, which has its largest research and development facility outside of the United States in Penang. Where Penang was a hub for labor-intensive manufacturing decades ago, today it designs and produces high-value added technologies that span everything from integrated circuits and software to embedded systems. Penang's steady climb up in the value chains continues to attract some of the most innovative companies in the world. They are setting up centers of excellence, design centers, and R&D hubs to tap into the state's unique advantages. Through decades of hard work, Penang has developed the talents and know-how to meet the needs of technology companies around the world. There's a saying in China, 风向转变时，有人筑墙，有人造风车. The literal translation of it is when the wind of change blows, some people build walls and others build windmills. Penang went through hardships during the early developing years. However, with careful planning and foresight, the Penang Free Trade Zone initiative managed to turn the tide and has been proven to be a success and continues to be one of the places to attract foreign investments. With the sharing above, I hope Penang Free Trade Zone's transformational arc can inspire others not just in a grand scheme of things, but at a personal level as well. I would like to end the speech with a final sharing, a phrase commonly quoted by some of the leaders in Free Trade Zone. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Thank you very much.